Alright, it's been a little bit since the less polished video has released. Let's see how it's doing. Alright, we're gonna search on YouTube. Okay. Oh, big busty black women. Oh, that should be ignored. Let's go and let's see. Oh. I guess y'all really want more of it. Alright. Well, instead of just going over the same thing over and over again, let's just get right into the topic. Evo. It's pretty popular. It's given quite literally some of the best moments in fighting game history that can be seen by a lot of people. One of the most interesting things, in my opinion, is the choices. What I mean is, every single time Evo comes, there's always a chance that your favorite fighting game is going to be played on the main stage, which is exhilarating. This is really good for traditional fighter people. For people like us, platform fighter enjoyers, I think there's only really been two things I would say platform fighter related, and I think that's like only Melee and Rivals 2. But maybe I'm wrong about that. You know what? If I'm wrong, just say it in the comments so I can pin that shit, because I can't recollect that. Basically, we don't really have our own big sort of tournament in order to represent us, and I would really hope one day that that would be the case. And that's exactly what I'm going to be tackling in this video. Basically, what if Evo, but only for platform fighters? Who would I pick? What's the reasoning why? All that and more. So, let's go over the ground rules and the sort of things that I'm going to be going over after a little bit. Alright, you get 8 games, okay? 8 games. At least for right now, we're only going to be doing games that are occurring now or will happen in like 1 year. That will be what this section of the video is for. However, in the other section, I will be going over more of my direct opinions on what I would want in a platform fighter Evo. And if we have more time, definitely a lot more honorable mentions or reasons as to why they can't really come compared to a lot of other guys. So again, this section is more quote-unquote realistic. So without, wasting more time in the intro, let's just fucking get into it. Alright, just the big thing out of the way. Yeah, Rivals 2 is getting in. It's not that I don't want to have a deep analysis about it. I just truly don't think that there is a lot of reasoning not to put Rivals 2 in a platform fighter Evo sort of setting. It has a lot of buzz. A lot of people that aren't even platform fighter nerds want to play this game. At that point, there's not really much to talk about. You should just put Rivals 2 at Evo. Or, not the actual Evo. I guess this is the Evo we created, but, whatever. So, with that easy pick out of the way, let's go with the second easiest pick. Again, just like Rivals 2, I don't really think there's anyone that's gonna be, sort of defensive about this. Melee quite literally put a lot of platform fighters kind of on the map simply by having the framework of what to do. From that alone, especially with all the things that Melee has given us throughout the years when it comes to antagonists and storylines, it's just an easy include. I don't think anyone wants me yapping over like 15 minutes on why Melee should be here. I'm pretty sure everyone knows. So, with that, Melee's the second inclusion. We got 6 more. And finally, we come to things that would actually need some sort of analysis to them. So let's get it started. Yes, I know. A lot of people don't like this game. Me particularly, I don't really enjoy it unless I play with my boys with it, like in duos or something like that, but come on, guys. Just because you don't like a game, it doesn't mean that that game hasn't been impactful in our space for quite literally years. The fact that it's been able to survive, especially with the sort of overwhelming amount of people that play it by its side, it's a feat on its own. And whether you think it's too floaty, whether you think the visuals don't look as good, doesn't matter. It deserves a seat at the table. Because it is able to stay here in a climate where platform fighters really ought to not survive. And simply by doing that and having an okay sort of gimmick that it already has, honestly, It's fine with me. And that's why it's here. Great, another one that's gonna rustle a few jimmies. Alright. Let's go back into reality and let's be adults about this. I think after Brawlhala, Multiversus is the one that is sort of the black sheep of the platform fighter community. When it comes to monetary gain, a lot of people certainly can have a problem with the free-to-play nature, especially since it's pretty rough trying to get a lot of the characters, and they just want to really influence you to get money. So if you already feel that way, it's going to seem like this choice is very weird. A second disagreement would definitely be of where it's at right now, because a lot of people believe that before the beta, it was actually a lot better compared to this, and it's too slow, and they can't really have any enjoyment to it. So I'll be the first one to say it here, just to break the ice. I enjoy this game now way more than I did in the beta, and that's including the speed being like super slow nowadays. I know, weird opinion, but it's genuinely how I feel. Listen, I honestly don't really care that the game is slower than it is now, or the fact that, a lot of people, when it comes to being slow, like, a lot of people say that all that could have been done to change is like the air dodge being like more consistent, or more so that it wasn't annoying. And I guess if you have that opinion, that makes sense. To me though, I like the pace of it because, I don't know, I just like how it feels and how you can bait people in this game way more compared to the other one. Before the beta, a lot of moves didn't really connect as it really should, and when you have blistering speed by that side, you make it so that you're so fast, but also it seems like moves are just coming out randomly, or they're hitting you by mistake when they really shouldn't. Also, and I'm gonna put my opinion out there, but I like slower games. I played Smash 4. I love that game. I love the fact that, I played Smash 4 Falco. I just sat there. I used my tilts to like bait you into things. You used the wrong move, and then I punish accordingly. And I didn't have to be fast in order to do that. Not compared to at least Smash Ultimate Falco, but that's exactly what this speed of the game really reminds me of. I especially like that the mind games in Multiversus can really be bait oriented, because like when you do a tilt at someone, you don't really have to connect the combo if you know that they have an air dash window or an air dodge window in order to hit you, right? So sometimes I'll just hit people with like a tilt, and then like they run away from me because I play duos for the most part, so I switch my side to hit the other person because they want to run away from me anyway. Or I just hit a tilt, wait, and then do a sort of up smash upware to like them dragging down so that I can kill them, which is a bait because I could have gone for combo routes or potential 50-50 combo routes, but I didn't, and now you got baited. And that really couldn't happen if the speed of the game was so fast. It's also, graphically, a very good game now, especially since the models are bigger. It allows me to see a lot of the moves, and allows me to really see where the big sort of moves are going so I can punish accordingly. I don't know about y'all, I feel like this is for the best. And especially since it's made for duos, it has a sort of system, or it has a sort of audience that can be captured differently compared to every single other platform fighters, because they have to revolve around like 1v1s. 2v2s allows you to have sort of competitive edges and combo routes and things that or combinations that you can really admire. Like, I was playing Wonder Woman, someone else plays Superman. He used jab and just to catch people, and then I just kept using down air, going for up B, and then afterward, when they're trying to dodge away from me, I try to give us armor, and then we're back in the fight. You have a lot of these sort of combinations and things in order to help the opponent, and it's really good. Say whatever you want about the business practices. I'm fine with you saying that. As a game, though, I don't really see the problem with it. I every single week, like 2 or maybe 3 days out of the week, 2 hours of my day, I'll spend it playing Multiversus with someone, and I'll enjoy it. So honestly, it can stay here. It can be at Evo. I don't have a problem with it. And if you do, please make your own list. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Genuinely, make your own list about it. I'd love to see it. But as for me, Multiversus can stay. The next 4, though, are definitely when we get into more spicier sort of territory, or sort of things that a lot of people like, that can bring a lot of hype when it comes to an Evo setting. Ah, Rushdown Revolt, my friend. We meet again. Rushdown Revolt is definitely a sort of game where if you've been there since the very beginning, you could really see a lot of the passion and a lot of the things that people really love about platform fighters. It was there for a long time, man. It went through a lot of rough patches, but you know, it's here. They're a smaller dev team now, but they're doing what they can. They're trying to fix the game, and they love their community, and that's just beautiful to me. I mean, yes, of course, they don't have the big budget. They don't have the big community. They don't have the exponential amount of time as other sort of more successful platform fighters are going to be. But maybe this is a little sappy to all of you, but I see the heart. And I also see a very good game. Every single time that I see a Rushdown Revolt sort of match, I always think of how very exciting everything is, and how the decision making of players really determines how you play this game. It has a lot of rough points, but once you disregard that and you actually see what they bring to the table, it's a lot. They would love to do more casual content for people. They would love in order to increase the amount of excitement that you get when you play their game. A lot of the system mechanics are pretty cool and are ingenious, and I haven't really seen in any other platform fighter. Like, think about it. I haven't seen burst in anything except like maybe NASB 2. That's incredible. I think overall Rushdown Revolt has been dealt a very bad hand. And I truly think, or I wish, and I hope, that maybe one day it can battle with the greats in the future, if not now. So I think for being the underdog in this sort of scenario, I think for being the one that people would love to root for, if we were to do an Evo for plat fighters, I would love, and I would put my vote in for Rushdown Revolt to be in there. The devs are hungry, the players are hungry, and they want to succeed. And I'd give it to them. Just really simple. I think they should get in. Woo! Oh my god. Damn, this game, bro. This fucking game. Stardust Valkyrie is like, can be like crack to me sometimes. Even if I'm not the best player in this game, the neutral just lets me feel so good. A lot of people might not like the visuals, but to me, I think it's a classic. It's a classic sort of look. Looks very regal, very fantastical. I don't know, it looks good to me. And the character designs. The character designs are fucking batshit insane. You tell me one platform fighter that has a half spider, half woman sort of character. Yeah, I'll wait. Yeah, I'm not waiting anymore. Fuck you. There's nothing. They're not anywhere. If you look at the breakneck pace of matches, it definitely reminds you of like Melee. In that sort of, it's very fast, but I wouldn't really say technical, but I would say that there's a lot of options that you can do, or you can really weigh in on the opponent. And once you actually do it, it really does impact the match. It can seem like things are going on in a blur, especially since a lot of the gimmicks that characters sort of have are pretty unique and pretty fun to just play with. Also, I don't know if anyone else knows this, but there's only one developer. And the fact that that developer can make and put so much effort into this game, especially with the recent patches that make it so much more beautiful than it already was, I don't know, man. I don't see the arguments of why it shouldn't be here. Players would get hyped. TOs would get hyped. It's a very, very creative and a different sort of look that I really haven't seen in a lot of platform fighters. A lot of platform fighters are very, you know, they're average, you know, anthropomorphic animals, maybe sometimes you have human beings. No, these motherfuckers are weird. And honestly, I'm here for it. They have my vote. I would put this game in, especially because one developer has made it possible. That's fucking insane. Slap City. What the fuck happened? Why does no one really talk about this game? I feel like it's pretty much done everything perfectly. You have a story mode that is not only good, even though it's replayable by every single other character. There's different scenarios to what happened in different timelines. Is that not fucking cool? Is the amount of casual content that it already has not a fuck enough? Also, just look at this game. It's goofy as hell. It has decent enough mechanics. It has a good story mode. It has good presentation. So why is it not labeled a classic the same as Melee? I understand, Melee was first. I get that. But if you really want to look at the first platform fighter to really ever do it all the way, or for everything in order to be good, why is it not this one? There was quite literally no reason why this game could not be at Evo, especially since the competitive scene is still pretty good as is, even with the 2 new characters, or quote-unquote new characters, that came with the patch. I don't know why people don't talk about Slap City, I'm gonna be honest, but personally, to put my appreciation for the game, if we had an Evo, it gets in. I don't give a shit. Someone pick the other Ludosity game. I'm not those people. I would pick Slap City. Ah, yes, the final one. This is a very weird decision that I've put myself in. Okay, I get it. In the same vein of Multiversus, in the same vein of Brawlhala, I think that's the sort of mood that people get with Flash Party. I get that, especially since this was not really a PC game on launch, and you can really determine that sometimes. But along with the video that I will make in the future about it, here's my thought process. I've played a lot of Flash Party, and people didn't really know, you know? And, you know, it's a pretty interesting game. Sure, there was a lot of monetization problems over the years, but they really calmed down with that and made a lot of things or special properties, you know, free. When it comes to the competitive scene, it's actually a little bit interesting. A lot of things are more so melee rather than Rivals of Aether. And what that means is that simple moves create a lot of scenarios rather than an entire sort of gimmick. Sure, this can be based on character to character, but that's how I feel. But it also gives that sort of slow pace that I really do enjoy in a lot of platform fighters. I just really like footsies, and this game really can do that very well. When I think of platform fighters, I don't think of something that's fast. I just think of a platform fighter, you know? 2 fighters, smash sort of space, platforms, good movement, and it has everything to that nature. It's just fun to play, and I really ignored all the monetization because, you know, I didn't really need a lot in order to pay. I didn't really need a lot in order to play my favorite characters in the game. And the time that I have spent playing it was just fun. I like baiting people. I like the movement that some of the characters have. Some of these characters are actually crazy. Like, they have a character that's named Fox. I know, fucking strange. But this character is so fucking technical that it hurts. So many things that he can do out of so many moves is kind of just insane. But because this is a free-to-play platform fighter, nobody wants to care. And honestly, I care. The same sort of grace that I would give Brawlhala and I would give Multiversus, I'll give it up for Flash Party, especially since it's pretty unique compared to everything else. I would really want everyone to just give this a try, and for a little bit more eyes in order to be on the game, because it's pretty interesting. And there we go. That would be my 8 listings. Now, let's get into some talking points, because I'm pretty sure a lot of you have some sort of questions about this sort of thing. Now, I already said in the video that I'm making another part, and trust me, we'll get there. But why did I make these decisions? Now, these decisions aren't just because of my personal reflection on a lot of these games. A lot of these games are here simply because I know they mean a lot to a lot more people. And I don't really feel that it would be appropriate if I only put in the platform fighters that are, relatively fast, and of course they're always going to be there, such as, like Smash Ultimate, like the original Rivals of Aether. It's like, would I really be doing a service if I doubled up and had Melee and Smash Ultimate and Rivals 1 and Rivals 2? I don't think so. I think people can have different interests, and I feel like if they like a game very differently, then we should just give them it, and we shouldn't be preventing them from trying to see the game that they like, or preventing other games that they might enjoy. So if a game isn't like relatively fast, for your point, I would just say try another game or try a new game, because there's lots of things that you can enjoy about a platform fighter. So to have more representation of different sort of aspects to game design, I think is fine. And if this was the first Evo, I would definitely want it like this. They wouldn't be all my, the things that I would want, but it's the things that people deserve. Now, this is where it gets interesting. I would say the first pairing that I did would be the first Evo for platform fighters, This would be the impactful, let's all come together and let's just enjoy platform fighters. However, the second, the third, or the fourth, anything in the future, that's where it gets interesting. So, I know this video has already been long enough, but let's get into the things of what I would truly want in a platform fighter Evo. Not something for the community, something me personally. And there's a few. So before we go over the new ones, let's just go over the 2 ones that are staying. Rivals 2, Rushdown Revolt. They're staying. I don't really have a lot of reason why they can't stay, but whatever. So those are staying. The 6 other ones though, well, you're gonna find out. Let's start off with something safe. Let's go with Combo Devils. Out of every new game that I've seen for platform fighters, this is the game that is definitely getting the most hype, even compared to things like Rivals 2. I think what also sets it off is that it looks like a platform fighter that has a budget, but it's also fast. Meaning that the contemporary person that likes a platform fighter that also likes speed would also like this game. Compared to like Multiversus, where it has a budget but it doesn't have the speed, that's why a lot of people would complain. This is where people would actually get excited. It seems as though that a lot of the things that they also do add, such as mechanics, are also pretty good and makes a lot of hype moments. The only sort of dismay that I would hear about this is that we just haven't gotten enough yet, and I understand that. What's it called? We haven't really had a lot of footage on it. I mean, we've had a lot, but not in the way that kind of matters, single player stuff. There's still a lot of characters that they need to release, but again, this second half of the video would definitely just be things that I would want to see in Evo, and it doesn't have anything to really do about if they're out yet or the information that we have. So, I would say, with the stuff that we do have, I think it's going to be an interesting game. I think it's going to actually be, how do I put this? It's going to be a sort of evolution to platform fighters. So I would definitely want them on the list. Now let's go over something I don't think a lot of people really know about. I reviewed, or not really reviewed, but I talked about a little platform fighter indie sort of studio that seems like they're gonna make a good game. Named Lucky Monk, these developers are making a 3D platform fighter called Panzen. Now, not a lot of things have been released for this sort of platform fighter. The only sort of things and only sort of inklings that you can really get for this thing are pictures and little clips videos on like Instagram. There is, however, a lot of information that you could see up on the website, and you can get that in order to get information. There's supposed to be information coming out at least relatively soon, but I haven't seen it yet. But that to me doesn't matter, because this is a sort of what-if scenario rather than what we have now. So I would recommend every single one of you. When it comes out, I would let it into Evo. In fact, if it were to come out recently, sort of, I would let one of the first people or like the first showings of it to be in Evo, just to create some hype. I feel like the sort of setting that they're going for, you know, the spirit realm and like fighters like fighting each other in this sort of spirit realm is a pretty cool concept. And if they're going to go balls to the walls, and for the fact that they're a 3D platform fighter, I guess that takes a lot of money, you know. I would really think that this game has a lot of potential, even though there's not a lot that we've seen. It's not really like a Combo Devils situation where we have at least some or a lot of footage of games so we can make some sort of judgment. But again, this isn't based on reality. It's based on what I would want in the future of a platform fighter. Fucking hell. A platform fighter Evo. So yeah, if I had the decision and it came out, put Panzen in, man. Give it a fucking chance. Hey yo, let's get weird. Why is no one talking about this game, dude? I get it. It's coming out in like a long time, but still. Hold up. This is new D'Angelo here. Yes, I get it. That's my actual name. I don't give a fuck. Fuck you. I'm wrong. That shit comes out in 2025, so I'm just wrong. Cool. So, it's just not long at all. Let's get back to the video. This game is definitely the definition of bombastic. Every single time you would think that a character would do something boring or do something that's very middling, it's just nagged by the fact of all this shit on the screen. I'm gonna show you just a few sorts of things happening, and you're looking at it now. This is bullshit. The fact that it looks so pretty as well, just like, oh my gosh. And the fact that it's like 2D animated too. It's not 3D. A lot of people really enjoyed the sort of aspects of 2D animation, especially a lot of Rivals players, funnily enough. So having a 2D platform fighter like this that looks pretty fucking good, I feel like it would do nothing but bring hype to every single body, especially to Toho fans, because I think, maybe I'm remembering wrong, I believe Toho fans were gypped with a platform fighter that was going to happen in like years ago, but it didn't for some reason, or maybe there was a reason. There was a reason, okay? But the fact that they get this now, and it looks so good, I really feel like just on that premise, it should probably be here. I know, very basic reasons. Haha, pretty colors. Haha, it looks bombastic. Haha. Dude, we need some hype, okay? We need hype. We need platform fighters to look pretty good in the space. To, prove a point. That we can be like our traditional brethren. That we can look good. That we can look great. And I feel like it fits the bill. If we had an Evo, I would hope this would be in it. Stardust Valkyrie 2, baby. Nah, I'm just kidding. It's fucking Sentinels Inc. I got you though. I caught your ass slipping. To be real with you, Sentinels Inc. looks very interesting, and the fact that it's a tag platform fighter really sets it apart from everyone else. being a tag platform fighter already supplants its existence, but it also seems like, at least, that it has a lot under the hood. A lot of EX specials in order to do different moves. The sort of the character designs are really good, dude. Like, you look at this aquamarine sort of mermaid character, and she just looks so bubbly and amazing. Dude, come on, man. So look at this fucking big ass. What is that? This big black motherfucker. What the fuck is that? Whatever the fuck it is pretty cool. And I enjoy the fact that platform fighters can now exist to be even more different than they already are. I'm here for it. If you want a bigger and a better video and a sort of explanation of this sort of thing, I would recommend you actually go to Neutral's video about Sentinels Inc. I'm going to link it down. I'm also going to put it on the screen. I'm also going to it's a really good video. It goes over the background and the information of why this thing was even made. It's very sad, but, you know, light at the end of the tunnel sort of thing. It's what you do afterward that really matters. And it really seems as though Sentinels Inc. is not just a platform fighter that looks like it has a lot of good tools, but it also looks like it has a lot of good heart. And I would rather that really be displayed than anything else. So, if it were to be a part of a platform fighter, if it ever were to be part of an Evo sort of thing, I would let it be here. Alright, let's talk about a fucking another one that nobody really talks about, but fuck it. StickFigurez. So, I'm gonna be really honest with you. A lot of what StickFigurez already has is pretty cool, and I'm going to talk about it. But if I'm gonna be real honest with you, the reason why that I would love StickFigurez to be a part of the game is just because it reminds me of middle school. You know those middle school videos of like StickFigurez doing erroneous things that you would really like? Personally, when I was in middle school, a lot of the great videos that I saw were StickFigurez on crack. You know, they weren't literally on, it was just called that, and they just did a lot of wacky things. But that's what really this reminds me of, and that's why I have a sort of personal connection with this sort of thing. Those sort of animations and those sort of things kind of brought me a lot of happiness. So the fact that they are able to mimic a sort of style to that and put it into a platform fighter, no less, really gets me interested, you know? And I've heard it's not really just me, but a lot of people really like the animators versus animation sort of style videos, or those sort of videos where it's like very popular, very good animation, very fluent, and that's what a lot of these sort of characters remind you of, sort of. So I know it's not like the overall like product itself, and it's just a feeling that I have, but it's a pretty good feeling, and I like the fact that it's able to give me a sort of nostalgic feeling when not a lot of platform fighters can really do that for me. But that's just my personal feelings. What about the game itself? From the game, we haven't really seen a lot, and that's really because the developers have had a lot of stuff to do over the past like few months, but you know, it'll be released somewhat. The footage that we do have is pretty okay, I'm gonna be honest. I'm actually more interested in the systems that they bring. Like a lot of, apparently you can do like strong special attacks, like you have a regular special attack and then you can have like a metered special attack, so that's really interesting. And I feel like a lot of these characters designs, maybe they need a little bit more tuning, but I feel like they can be a lot interesting. So based on that, it gives me a lot of good feelings in middle school, and it seems like a decent enough game. I feel like people would really like it if this were here, so screw it. I would put it in Evo. I don't see a problem with it. I know, very simple, very, yeah, what have you, but I don't know. I just think it's neat. Well, this one is a fucking doozy because we don't even fucking know if it exists, but screw it, I'll just put it in anyway. It's my video. If I look like a dumbass, then fuck it. NASB 3. This is very weird because we already have NASB 2. Why are you talking about NASB 3? Okay, listen. I'm not like every single typical platform fighter channel out there. I don't go over here and I just only do like clips online or character predictions or even like entire game predictions or something like that. I'm someone that likes to analyze, and I like to just bring everyone together in order to analyze platform fighters and potentially make them better. So I think personally that they're going to make a NASB 3 somewhere down the line. I understand that there's a lot of criticisms of the first NASB 1. It was less impactful in NASB 2 because they did a lot right. Still a lot they could have done right, you know. But, you know, it was decent. I think, personally, after having all this data, after finally getting all this money, after showing Game Mill and showing everyone that they can actually get the job done and they can turn a profit, because I think NASB 1 and NASB 2 are like the most profitable like Nick games out there, so keep that in mind. But I personally think that they are getting ready for NASB 3, and what's going to happen is that they're going to put every single game character in there that was in NASB 1 and NASB 2 in there. They're going to do that. They're going to make it tighter so that a lot of people feel as though that the combo system and the things are pretty good. Maybe not reinvent the slime mechanics or something like that. Maybe not reinvent them. Probably like just make them better, I guess. And they're just going to do more and more. I know there's literally no information out there to go off. I'm literally just going on straws. But if I had to determine it, if I had to make a guess in my brain about if this is going to exist, I feel like in 3 years, honestly, I really feel like NASB 3 is gonna just exist, you know? And I haven't really talked about this because, you know, there were so many not bad faith, but like bad talking points to NASB 1 and also NASB 2. And I agree with a lot of them, you know? I'm not a fucking drone. I have my own opinions on the matter. I genuinely do see the effort and the amount of passion that these people really want to do for their platform fighter. Well, I can see the passion. I can see the hard work. I can see the determination. They're just a very small studio, and they were just they took a task that was really big on them. But the fact that NASB 2 even exists is kind of testament to how they're trying to really be out there. And I understand, guys. I really do. $60 and then another $50, you think it's down the drain. I don't think so. Even though I didn't get the platform fighter that I want, I know eventually NASB 3 will be a platform fighter that I want to play always. I really enjoyed my time with both games, even one. And I would hate to see it kind of go to waste, you know? That's really just how I feel. And I don't know. I really feel that NASB 3 will be here. And when it is, I will accept it with open arms, even though a lot of people will probably, and justifiably, give it some hate. I understand. But I trust them. They made Reptar. Look at the amount of design techniques and the amount of things that they did just for that character alone. I know, bias, Reptar main, but, you know, still. I would want them to succeed. And I think one of the reasons of how they can do that, well, not reasons, but the way that they can do that, well, if we had an Evo, and it existed, I would accept NASB 3. The last one. Okay, there's a lot, and I mean a lot, of platform fighters that I could have done in this spot. A definitely weird pick that nobody would have thought would have been like Cross Impact. I might talk about it later on. I actually probably should talk about it later on. They have no new V1 character, and that's pretty cool. But no, I'm not talking about that right now. I feel as though that the last spot that I should give should be something akin to everyone else. A piece of soul that is trying its best in order to make it out there in the platform fighter space. But what's interesting about the one that I'm going to bring up is that it's not really the mechanics, which is interesting because I'm usually a mechanics guy. But one of the reasons of why they even exist fundamentally is for artists. Let Smack Studio be on the list. I can tell that Smack Studio had really humble beginnings, and for what I've played, it was fine. You know, it wasn't the most like fast and deliberate sort of platform fighter, not like akin to like Rushdown Revolt, but it still has its charm. Its moves are at least decent, and a lot of the physics of them are actually pretty cool. A lot of the character designs are also surprisingly. I love Granite. I love the little dragon, little dragon dude, and you know, I like the succubus lady. She's pretty cool. Recently though, they've actually came out with like a new trailer, and they're gonna get out of being on, is it alpha or beta? Well, they're gonna get out of whatever situation they're in, and it's gonna be like an actual Steam game. So there it is, and I just feel a little proud, you know. David Kimball has been working on this game for a while now, and you know, I haven't seen all of his videos. I think one of the very interesting videos that he has is like a clunkiness in like Melee versus like Smash Ultimate. I definitely think that that's a very good video that you should be watching. But I can really tell that he either really knows his stuff in his platform fighters, or I know he's just ecstatic and really wants platform fighters to thrive. And this game, honestly, is kind of a testament to that. Because, you know, a lot of people look at it only for, like, workshop purposes. But, I don't know. I think the fact that it's specifically designed for people like that, the fact that people can be very creative, and it's like that's kind of the point, brings an edge to it that not a lot of platform fighters have. Especially since the new trailer especially makes it seem like this game is finally gonna be like a traditional platform fighter. It's gonna be regal, it's gonna be good, it's gonna be, the combos are gonna be good, and it's like that feels really good, especially for being humble beginnings, you know. So it having a place in an Evo sort of setting, I wouldn't turn it down. I would really like it if Smack Studio proved itself, and maybe got some good stuff down the line if they were to actually be in an Evo setting. So there we go. This fucking long ass video talking about, you know, what should happen in a platform fighter Evo, and that what I would let happen in a platform fighter Evo. That way a lot of people don't really feel dismayed. They feel as though they can actually get like two sort of ideas of where it can go. But whatever, is my video, I guess. So if you hate it, well, actually, you know what? I was gonna say if you hate it, make your own list, like in a bad way, but it's not in a bad way, actually. I would actually want other people to just tell me what list they would want, and maybe tell their reasonings why, because I'm gonna be honest with you, the fact that I even brought up Brawlhala and shit like that definitely already got a few viewers, I could tell. But at least now you can see my reasoning, and you can see that, you know, I enjoy platform fighters. I want them to grow. And if we ever had the chance for them in order to be in a big ass tournament setting so we can show the world that, you know, we're fun and we can stand up with the rest of them, it'd be very appreciated. But alright, I've already gone on long enough, so just want to say the future's bright, and I hope it gets brighter. See you all.